Hello, good evening, friends. I hope you are safe and well. Last lectures we have discussed about the weighted average method while preparing the stock ledger. Stock valuation is very important element in our study part, and we are using the different kinds of methods for preparing the stock ledgers. We have studied the FIFO method and weighted average method while calculating the closing stock in our stock ledger. Now friends, today also we will discuss the same things and we will study whenever we will apply FIFO method and some weighted average method, how we will calculate the closing stock. Is there any difference between the closing stock value and units? That we will discuss. But one thing you have to keep in mind, whenever we will prepare stock ledger and we will calculate the closing stock at the end of the month or end of the quarter or end of the year, closing stock is always same in units, in quantity. Value can be changed, value in rupees can be changed because of the we are applying different methods. Two methods are there in our FYBCom: first in first out method and weighted average method. Today we will take revision of both the methods, and it is very important for your exam point of view. So let us discuss one simple problem. This particular problem we will use both the methods. See the question. From the following details, find out the closing stock of Bharat Industries Limited as per the FIFO method and weighted average method. 1st November opening stock 40 units at the rate rupees 14. 2nd November issue 30 units at the rate rupees 15. 4th November purchases 20 units at the rate rupees 15. 5th November issue 40 units at the rate rupees 18.50. 10th November issue 10 units at the rate rupees 19. 17 November purchases 30 units at the rate rupees 16. 20 November issue 25 units at the rate rupees 20, and 28 November purchases 50 units at the rate rupees 30. Now 30 November issue 40 units at the rate rupees 16. This is a particular problem, and we have to prepare the stock ledger. We have to find out the closing stock by using FIFO method and weighted average method. So first of all, we will discuss the FIFO method. Whenever we will talk about the FIFO method, we have to draw valuation of stock as per the FIFO method. Stock register we will prepare. In that, we have to draw the column. You know about how to draw. There are total 10 column. 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 columns are there. In that, this first column is date. These 3 columns belong to purchases. These 3 columns are belong to sales or issue. And these 3 columns are belong to balances. Okay, fine. That we have discussed. Now first effect. 1st November opening stock 40 units at the rate rupees 14. Now this particular opening stock we will record in our stock ledger. How we will record? So here 1st November 2020, there is no column for opening stock. That's why we have to put opening stock, and balance column we have to write 40 units into 14. 40 into 14, so value will be 560. Value will be 560. After that, on 2nd November they issue 30 units. Issue means sold. Issue means transfer. Now from this 40 units they will sold 30 units. Whatever balance units are available on from these balance units, they will use for issue purpose. The 40 units, 30 units used for sale purpose. Date we have to write 2/11/2020. Rate is 14. 14 rate is whatever rate is there. this previous purchases, same rate we have to follow. We will not follow the rate of the issue they are provided 15 rupees. We will not follow while preparing the FIFO method. Then after that, 30 into 14, total is 420. 30 multiplied by 14, 420 is the issue price. Now from these 40 units, 30 units were sold, 10 units are remaining. Balance rate is same. From this 560, 420 units rupee value of the units were sold. 420 is a rupee value. 560 minus 420 remaining are 140, or you have to multiply 40 into 14, 10 into 14, it is 14. After that, next date is they are provided 5th. On 5th they issue 40 units. Before that, on 4th they purchases 20 units. Purchase entry we have to write 4th 11 2020. Purchases units column 20. Rate they are provided, rate is there in our problem. Same rate we have to consider for purchase. 15 rupees is there, that we have to write in our column. Rate is recorded 20 multiplied by 15, 300 is the value of purchases. Now friends, one thing you have to keep in mind, last day's balance we have to consider as it is 10 into 14 into 14. Same means we have already units are previous day's units that we have to carry forward to next day, and new purchase units we have to write next box, that is 20, rate is 15, so 20 into 15, 300. So we have a total 10 plus 20, 30, and their value in rupees 140 plus 300, it means 440. So this particular value is available after 4th November. So these things you have to keep in mind. How many units are there? We have a 30 units. The value is 440, and we have a two different rates are there. 14 rate 10 units are there, 15 rate 20 units are there. These things you have to keep in mind. After 4th November, next date is 5th November, they issue 40 units. 5th November we have to write 5th November. Now they want to issue how many units, the sales or issue column we have to write. They want to issue 40 units. Now our method is first in first out method. Those who purchase first, such units sold first. Now rates are 14 rates units were purchased first. Then after that we purchase new units at the rate 15. So this particular 10 units are the first units were purchased first. So we have to sold first units, purchase first, sold first, purchase first, sold first. Therefore we have to sold these units first. So we have to sold these 10 units first. 10 units first we have to sold 10. Now their rate is 14 is there. See that their rate is 14, so we have to consider 14. 14 we have to write here. 14. So 10 into 14 is equal to 140. But still we have to sell 30 units. We have to sell 30 units. It's not possible because we want to sell 30 units. Now if you see that in our problem, that we have to change something. Here we have to write something, it may be wrong. We have to write here 30 and this 10th November transaction we have to remove. Now how many units we want to sold? Issue 30 units. 10 units we have used from first. Now rest of the we have to sold 30 units. Rest of the 20 units we have to take from this 20 units. So we will write here rest of the 20 units we will take. And their rate is 15. So 20 multiplied by 15 is equal to 300. Here 440. Now if you see that 10 units sold first, then 20 units sold after. Total units we want to sold 30 units and their value is 400. Now in this particular day there is no balance of units in closing. There is no closing. Closing is 0. I hope you understood this 5th November transaction. After that we have to discuss 17th November. They purchased 30 units at the rate of 16. So we will write here 17th November 2020. Now how many units purchased? Purchase column we have to write 30 at the rate of 16. 30 at the rate of 16. So we have to find out 30 into 16 is equal to 480. Balance column we have to keep as it is. 30 into 16 is equal to 480. Okay, the balance column also we recorded the closing balances. After recording the 17th November transaction, now next transaction on 20th November they issue 25 units. So we will write here 25th November 2020. How many units they want to sold? 25. Rate is 20, but we have to ignore the rate 20. After 17 20 November 25 units we want to sold. So we will write here it is 20. The 25 units they want to sold. The 25 units we have to consider. Now we have to bring these units from our closing balance. From this 30 units we have to bring 25 units for sold purpose. Their rate is 16. The same rate we have to consider. So their rate is 16. The same rate we have to consider here. We will write here 16. Now friends, 25 into 16 is equal to 400. Now friends, from this 30 units, 25 units were sold. The rest of the units are fine. Rate as it is, we have to consider 16. We have to multiply this 5 into 16. 80 units, 80 rupees are available and total units are remaining. Fine. After that, next date it is on 28. They again purchase 500 units, 50 units at the rate rupees 13. 50 units at the rate rupees 13. These things you have to keep in mind. 28 November 50 into 13. 28 November purchases column 50 and rate, see that again 13 rupees per unit. 50 into 13 is equal to 650. So we have already closing balance 5. We have to keep as it is 5. Their rate 16, the value is 80. New purchase, we have to write here, new purchase 50 into 13, 650. So we have a total balance 55 units and 80 plus 650, 730. These are the amounts available on 28th November. 55 units available and their total value in rupees 730. After 28th November, next date is on 30th November. 40 units were sold. 30th November 2020. They want to sold. How many units? Units column we have to write in solds. We have to write how many units they want to sold. 40. Now how we will use? We have a 16 rupees rate 5 units and 13 rupees rate 50 units. I already informed that those who purchase first sold first. So first of all we have to sold 5 units first. So we will sold 5 units first. We have to write 5. Their 5 units rate is 16. We have to keep 16. Value is 80 rupees. Now still we want to sell 35 units, and 35 units we can bring from this rate 13. 35 units we can bring from this rate 13. From this 50 units we can bring 13 units. Okay, fine. And their rate is 13. Their rate is 13. So we have to write here 35 into 13 is equal to 455. Okay, so find out this total value of value of rupees sold, that is 535. Now friends, if you see that 5 units were sold, from this 50 units we sold 35 units. Now rest of the units are 50 minus 35. 50 minus 35, that is 15. Their rate is 13, so we have to consider 13, and their value is 15 into 13 is equal to 195. So see friends, we calculated the closing balance So we can write here therefore closing balance of balance 15 units at the rate rupees 13 per unit is equal to rupees 195. So see friends, therefore closing balance 15 units at the rate rupees 13 per unit, rupees 195. So these are answer we are consider is the final answer, and we are use FIFO method. Now next we will use weighted average method. How we will use that we will discuss in our next video.